discussing a part of software engineering. Specifically, we are going to discuss during this video about UML use case diagram. So I have divided this use case diagram in two different videos. So here, this is a part one in which we are going to discuss about the theory section about the use case diagram. In part two, we will see the practical aspect of the use case diagram. So this is the outline for this video's discussion. That is the element of the analysis model, introduction, use case diagram. Then we will see the scenario, example, and we will see the different notation and what are the relationships are to be used in a use case diagram. That already you know about the elements of the different analysis model. So use case diagram will be categorized as a scenario based modeling in a part of the object oriented analysis. So what exactly the use case? So basically the use case will tell us a stylish story about how an user interact with the system under a specific set of the circumstances. So the story may be a narrative text, an outline of the task or the interaction, a template based description, or it may be a grammatic representation or diagrammatic representation through which we can describe the use case. So use case will show the software or system from the end user point of view. So the use case is nothing but it is a scenario based technique in UML. The UML is already you know unified modeling language which identify the actors in an interaction and which describe the interaction itself. A set of use case to describe all possible interaction with the system. In a use case diagram, an actor is a user of the system. So it may be a human or non-human. So first step in writing a use case is to define a set of actors that will be involved in the story. So the actors are nothing but those are the different people or device that use the system or product within the context of function and behavior that is to be described. So every actor has a one or more goal when using the system. So once the actor have been identified, we can start to develop the use case diagram. So before developing a use case diagram, these are the list of the question I have mentioned that is to be answered. So who is the primary actors? Who is the secondary actor? What are the actors' goals? What preconditions should exist before a story or scenario that is going to begin? What main task or function are to be performed by the actor? What expectation might be considered as the scenario is described? What variation in the actor's interaction are to be possible? What the system information will the actor will acquire, produce or change? Will the actor have to inform the system about change in the external environment? What information does the actor desire from the system? Does the actor wish to inform about the unexpected changes in the given system? So after you will get all the answer, then you have to start about the use case diagram. Then the first step is the scenario. So scenario is basically nothing but it is a real life example of how the system can be used. But what is to be considered in a scenario? So we have to include a description of the starting situation, a description of the normal flow of the events, a description of what can go wrong, the information about the concurrent activity, the description about the state when the scenario is to be finished. So this much information are to be included whenever you will write a scenario. So this is the example that later on we will discuss in more detail about this, but the use case will look like this. So these are the actors what we have discussed right now. The web customer, the registered customer, new customer, the identity provider, all these are the actors. Now what are the notation are to be used in a use case diagram? So the first, that is the actor, the someone who interacts with the use case, the name by noun, similar to the concept of user, but a user can play a different role. Here, this is the symbol or notation that is used in a use case diagram for the actor. For example, a professor can be instructor and also researcher. So here the professor will play two different roles with the two systems. So actor triggers a use case. So actor has a responsibility toward the system as an input and actor has an expectation from the system as an output. Now the second notation that will be used in a use case diagram, that is itself by use case. That is nothing but it is a system function, that is a process or automated or manual. So it is a name by verb plus noun. So the meaning of this is very simple, do something in the system. So each actor must be linked to use case, while some use cases may not be linked to the actors. Next, that is a communication link. So the participation of an actor in a use case is shown by connecting an actor to the use case by a solid link. So actor may be connected to use case by association, indicating that the actor and the use case communicate with one another using the message. Next, the boundary of the system. This is the most important because I have seen so many use case diagram. People are forgetting to describe the boundary of the system in a use case diagram. So it is compulsory you to define the boundary in a use case diagram. So the system boundary is potentially the entire system as defined in the requirements document. For large and complex system, each module may be system boundary. For example, for an ERP system for an organization, each of the modules such as personal, payroll, accounting, we can define a use case for each one. Now, we have seen the notation. Now we will see what are the relationship are to be there in a use case diagram. So use case will share the different kinds of relationship. Defining the relationship between two use cases is the decision of the software analyst of the use case diagram. A relationship between two use cases is basically modeling the dependency between the two use cases. The reuse of an existing use case by using different types of relationship reduce the overall effort required in developing a system. Now, what are the different relationships are to be there in use case? The first is the extent. The name it will suggest the extent. Here you can see this is the login use case and this is the invalid use case. Here the login use case will be considered as a parent, invalid will be considered as a child use case. So indicate the invalid password use case may be include the behavior specified by the base use case login account here. So the directed arrow having a dotted line, the tip of arrowhead points to the base use case. This will be the login account, and the child use case, the invalid password connected at the base of the arrow. Now next relationship that is used in a use case, that is include. Here the place order will be considered as a base use case and the login will be considered as a child. When a use case is deprecated as using the functionality of another use case, the relationship between the use case is named as a include or usage relationship. A use case includes the functionality described in another use case as a part of its business process. A usage relationship from base use case to child usage indicate that instance of the base use case will include the behavior as specified in the child use case. Here the place order that is included using the login. If you want to place an order, then you have to log in. An include relationship is deprecated with the directed arrow having a dotted line that is to be seen here. The tip of the arrow overhead points to the child use case, here login, and the parent use case here connected at the base of the arrow. Next is the generalization. That is familiar word in object oriented. Generalization relation is a parent-child relationship between a use case. The child use case is enhancement of the parent use case. So it is shown as a directed arrow with the triangle overhead. The child use case is connected at the base of the arrow. Here the child. The tip of the arrow is connected to the parent use case. Here the store patient record in a paper file, that will be the parent use case. So whatever we have seen, the different notation, different relationship, now here in this diagram you can see, this is the, here how we have defined the boundary for this use case. It is a part of the system use case. So here it is to be mentioned for system, it is optional. Name of the system is to be written checkout. Here what are the use cases? Here help, checkout, payment and manage user. What are the actors? The customer, clerk, payment service and administrator. Here everything is to be described. This is the actor, this is the include relationship. If you want to check out, then you have to perform the payment procedure. If you want to do a checkout, then if you require help, then extended relation is to be described. Okay, here something is to be written, multiplicity, that is the one to many relationship is to be there. Customer can do the many checkouts. The payment, one customer will do at a time one payment. So this, whatever we have discussed in this video, whatever the different notation, relationship, everything is to be described or available in this diagram. So if you want to learn more about the UML use case diagram in a practical way, then you have to see the part 2 that will come very soon. So thank you very much. If you have any query suggestion, then please comment on my YouTube channel. If you do not have subscribed to my channel, then I am requesting you to please subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you very much.